So in this short video, I'm going to introduce you my latest tool, text to TX. And this is a very simple tool that basically what it does is converts a selection of textures into TX files. Now, if you don't know what a TX file is, TX is a tiled and map texture format. It's going to dramatically improve time to first pixel, so first time you press render until the time you see something on your screen, overall rendering time and memory usage. Therefore, converting textures to TX file is highly recommended. And if you're working with a renderer like Arnold, for example, this is something that happens automatically in the background. So you don't have to worry about converting the textures. You don't need this tool if you're working with Arnold. But other renderers, they need you to manually convert the textures you're using for a scene or for an asset into a TX file. So instead of having to use command lines and going through loops, I created this tool in Python for Houdini. And basically what a tool does allows you to select a folder, for example. So for example, if I select this one, it's going to recognize the textures that I have here and the ones I want to convert. And then I give you also the option to include any subfolders. So in the example that I have so test A, and B, and C, they all have textures inside. So if I want to convert those textures, I just have to click the include subfolders. Then I have the reset button here in the middle, and this gives me the second option, which is for me to select some textures to convert. So for example, if I select these 5 textures here, I'm going to convert them in a second. Before I do, I want to highlight 2 things. The first thing is that I set up this tool in order to run multiple images in parallel. So it's going to use roughly 80% of the cores that you have available on your machine. It can be a little bit slow if you have a lot of textures, but it's going to be way faster than just using one single core. The second thing is that I'm using the imaketx utility tool that comes with Houdini. And this tool has something which is extremely useful, and I'm going to show you right now when I click convert textures. You'll see that all the 5 textures I selected, the only texture that was converted to TX file was the diffuse. And the reason why is because the tool is smart enough to, first of all, understand that I already have other TX files on my folder, so I don't need to convert those. But the other thing is also extremely smart is the fact that even if I, for example, export a new diffuse now or a new normal map, and if I select the same textures and I click convert, it's not going to convert the diffuse, the metallic and specular, or ambient occlusion or normal if those textures didn't change. So if I go back to Substance Painter, for example, and I export new textures for the diffuse and for the normal, and then I select those and I press convert textures, the tool is smart enough to understand that only the diffuse and the normal actually change. So only those 2 textures are going to be converted. Initially, obviously, when you're working and converting for the first time, you have to convert everything into TX file. But then if you make adjustments, only the textures that were changed are the ones you're going to be converted. So that's why you're going to save a lot of time, and particularly if you're working with a lot of textures, a lot of UDIMs. So I hope you find this tool useful. If you have any kind of feedback, or if you find a bug, or if you have any suggestions, feel free to get in touch. You can do it through the email, or you can get in touch through my social media on X, Instagram, or LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to hear any kind of feedback or suggestions you may have and try my best to implement it. So let me know what you think about this tool, and take care.